What frequencies get you inspired? What makes people move to make money? Why am I lazy about starting up a channel?
It's always the vision of your future. You fantasize about your future, and I'll go in depth here. You fantasize about your future in depth, right? And here, let me just put this here. When you are fantasizing about your future, the problem, the reason you're not active and mobilized and doing stuff is because it's in the future, in your 2D images, the stream of images in your brain that you can't see, but I swear you felt it. You swear you felt it, right? You're in this 3D world. Your mind is shooting these 2D images of the future. It's not going to mobilize you because it's in the future. All you have to do is the meditative attention awareness activity that's for thousands of years been studied and trained, and it's very difficult to do when you are used to iPhones and stuff. It's very easy when you're just out the birth as tabula rasa, right? Bring the focus into the now. If you can see your future self, if you can visualize, if you have techniques to visualize of your future life in the now, where you heard someone out there say something that's from the future, but it's in the now, immediately you want to move, walk, work out, do something, and you go, how long is this going to last? As long as you put the attention on it. This is what in the ancient temple sciences, in the ancient initiation practices, the number one thing before they went through any kind of Gnostic experience, any kind of like, oh my God, I spoke to God experience, they were taught to zero point of attention, to focus on it. And this focus, here, I'll tell you how tough it is for the average man, okay? To bring the future into the now is, for 10 years I studied this, and it'll make sense when it has to make sense. Here's how a lot of, am I yapping, or should we get a little esoteric in this bitch? Okay? One of the oldest esoteric practices for meditation for these ADHD brains. Back then, they were more clairvoyant with less intelligence, which wasn't a bad thing, right? It's just we traded it off. And by what I mean by that is that death was closer to sleep. Yeah, it wasn't like this whole I woke up, I don't remember my dreams thing, right? Yeah, they could literally see stuffs and sprites and everything in the forest, right? And we still see those sprites and spirits. For example, we don't have the clairvoyant vision to see sprites and spirits, energies around us that are not harmful. They're just around us, but it always finds a way to find us. Like, look at this. Who are these little guys? Yeah, even when we lost our clairvoyant abilities, these sprites and little beings find a way to communicate with us through the digital medium. That's Squirtle. Everyone knows who Squirtle is. We know his temperament. We know his attitude. We know what he likes to eat. We know, how does everyone here who's not even a fan know who the Squirtle is, what he's about? Pikachu. These characters are not created by man. Man is just the portal that opens, that lets these characters pour through. That, yes, fantasy is bigger than reality. It's more real than reality. But I'm not going to say that to like schizophrenics and people who are that level of clairvoyant. I'm not going to say that to them. I'm not going to like reinforce any bad behavior. But I'm saying these little spirits find a way to come out. And that's why your nephew and you have this affinity for Pikachu. You get it? That it's not just a picture on the screen. Because nobody created Pikachu. No one thought of Pikachu. How the did one man sit down and draw Pikachu and it's like, hey, he's going to be yellow, he's going to be... You understand that nothing comes from us. We don't create anything. We allow the creation into this world. That's what we're here to do. And so these little beings have a way of communicating with us. It's very strange, but they're around our kids all day. It's not an evil thing. It's not, it's whatever. And in the ancient times, they knew this. They had to hide all this in the Vatican archives, right? I am the first ever broadcaster to say this. I don't want to scare you guys, but it's everywhere. It's in the movie Avatar with the tree of Awa, right? This stuff is, a lot of fantasy stuff is real. It takes on different shapes and forms when we're bringing it into this medium, but they definitely go a certain path. They become a certain thing. Some of them are evil, 100%, right? Just think of where was I going with this? Where was oh right. Okay, one of the I feel like I should be selling this though, but because this was in a different project I was working on that I stopped working on. But okay, one of the oldest spiritual practices ever is focus on this lighter, but I'm going to make it tough. I'm going to take you into your super sensible senses. Focus on it without music, without your phone, without anything, in an empty room, right? Turn the light on and just focus on this lighter for 5 minutes. Go. You can't do it. No human today can do this. And the guys who do make it through the practice, I'll call them more intelligent, but there's something else that's making these guys do this. This spiritual practice is so powerful because after 5 minutes, you actually start to notice things you've never noticed on this simple ass lighter. And that's a perfect way of your first 5 minutes of the day is honing in on focus. That when you get good at this, it doesn't increase. Yeah, someone said I already lost. Yeah, I get it, bro. I get it. That they can't. That's why they want your attention with the apple, right? With the black mirrors. They don't want you to have this power. But once you can do 5 minutes of this, you don't increase it to 10 minutes. You don't increase it to 20 minutes. You don't do any of that. You do it with other objects, and eventually you do it with your PowerPoint. And that's when you become a genius. When you can actually look at your PowerPoint project and say, okay, I'm going to focus for 5 minutes. I'm going to put all the content on the screen, all the topics. And that's the first time you go, that's how we're meant to use our brains. We're not supposed to think. We're supposed to wait until it comes out of us like taking a shit. Just let it come out. Don't force it, right? I don't want to do it. I like, my bad for the graphic imagery, right? I don't believe in toilet humor. I think it's low brow. But I'm telling you guys this. If you don't master the elements of thinking, what is thinking? It's telling you what it is. What is feeling? It's telling you if you agree with something or not, which is thinking is air. Feeling is water. Intuition. This is the one that makes you a billionaire. The intuitive faculty we all have. This is fire. This is the tough one. This one comes after attention, right? And then earth is sensation when we feel it, which is usually like goosebumps or stuff, right? Something earthy, something that grounds you, right? Once you understand, oh my God, there's 4 different colors, there's 4 different elements in my thinking. It's not all thinking, but it's all being sensed. It's all before the super sensible, but it all feels, oh wow, does it feel or does it think? When you can divide these, like my students do, you can legit work on projects where you go, you know what? That was the best stream I've ever done. That was Zherka. I put 1 hour of focus in that stream, and in 5 minutes, I got the answer I was looking for. Is this what the Taoists and the Eastern guys were meant when they said we're geniuses if we can just stop moving? Yes. Look at Tesla. Look at Einstein. Look at genius. Study genius, man. This is why you can't throw a football. You can't throw a football and observe yourself throwing a football. You cannot physically do it. You have to throw it slowly. But if you do anything fast, if you start driving, you go in automatic behavior. You cannot observe yourself. So if observing is the first step, how did you observe $1 million idea? How did you ever observe? It's always a level of awareness to becoming a millionaire. It's always this new idea that pulled the other ideas that were junk and said, hey, you guys actually fit here, 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 here. How do all these ideas get pulled? By fire. It's always by that new idea, which means increase awareness. How do you increase awareness? You can never increase awareness if your attention is being taken by appliances and devices. So number 1, be still. That's hard. You have nothing to do and you still don't want to do this. These activities, once you master the basics, you start thinking to yourself, one of my smartest guys, I didn't even have to bring it here. He brought it to me. One of my smartest guys, like, Zherka, I did it on my date. I'm like, no, you didn't. You would never freeze on your date like that. You're a liar. He's like, no, I went to the bathroom. I was like, what? He said, I went to the bathroom and I did it. So what'd you do? You take a shit? You take a piss? He's like, ha 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 ha. No, I did it. I increased my awareness. And I'm like, are you telling me that we're talking about PowerPoints and projects and lighters and you applied it on a date? I knew what he was saying. He's saying that when he sat back down, his thoughts were better. He spoke more clear. He wasn't talking so fast that she thought he was nervous. He was more sly. He was more aware of the moment. Everything. He was blinking normally, not autonomous. Like, am I supposed to blink? Am I supposed to speak? Am I supposed to laugh at her joke? And I'm like, okay, you've raised your awareness. That's brilliant. Really, I didn't really think he would bring it to the dating place. And how men used to cheat this? Drinking, right? They would shift their level of awareness by drinking. You would find a nice happy medium, and then it always gets ruined, right? Drinking, it's not like your mind. You're not controlling that. You're going to have more shots, and it's going to get worse. But there's this always happy medium of I shifted my awareness from anxiety to a different state, and that's all you need. And people act like this is a Super Saiyan transformation. This is so subtle, right? This is so subtle. That's why if you have a good start on a date, it's usually a good finish, right? It's not like things that are alike actually attract each other. It's not this opposites attraction that you're taught. No, things that are alike actually can attract each other. You just have to know. Sorry, I read something really. I thought this guy said, "You mean he realized women are?" I would say it's centering yourself, right? And now, how many times do you center yourself where you do it? Be honest. And how many times are you forced to do it? Because when you're forced to do it, it's very different, right? As soon as you center yourself with your own eye, everything starts going correct for you. This is what ritual is. This is how people do rituals. This is why people have pre-football game rituals, and they don't know why it works, but I just feel better when I do it, man. This is what it is. It's a elevation of consciousness. And people are wondering, like, wait, so does that mean every day? Every goddamn day of your life. Every single day of your life, you should ask yourself, am I conscious right now? Am I? Oh no, I've been watching Zherka for 5 hours. I was unconscious. When you observe yourself, do not change. Just observe yourself for a month. It's so much fun. When you only observe yourself, you start getting disgusted. If you start to change things and nitpick, immediately you're going to go back to being a loser. But if you observe for a month, you'll be disgusted for 10 years. Like, it's huge. If you observe for a minute and then try to change something, immediately elastic band snaps back and you fuck up, right? And that's really the power of a sober mind, right? Now, I'm not preaching always be sober, right? I don't do that Christian because I know a lot of you guys, when you tell a human being always be sober, then they, for some reason, the elastic band snaps on them. It's like bad advice, you know? Just be aware, right? I'm not putting any tension on it, right? Yeah, have a couple of drinks at a party, but like, you know, don't lose your awareness to elevate your awareness to, hey, I'm tipsy and funny now, and then you lose it. Because if you find out how to be funny when you're tipsy, you can only be tipsy for this much, and then you have to drink more. So it's a losing battle. If you find out how to be funny while you raise your own awareness, you're funny for life. You take 5 minutes in the bathroom of you just, nothing's happening. Okay, well, Zherka said there's a timer to this shit, so let's try 5 minutes. I wonder if she thinks I'm doing something else. Maybe she thinks I'm doing blow, and I'm no, it's just a bathroom. There's like a lineup. And what if she thinks I'm in my pants? What if she? Relax, bro. Have that 5 minutes of silence. Go sit back down. Anything you sit back down to, you'll dominate. The thinking mind is not gonna save you. Okay, you guys are Westerners, so. Yeah. Anyways, where I started from this is if you can paint those images, I know for some of you guys it's easier than others, but if you guys can paint those images in the now, you will be a lot more active, right? And never get active with, I'm going to do so much today. Nope. Do one thing and it'll always get done. Then do the other. Then do the other. Then do the other. And a good practice for this is when you write it down on paper, write down that first thing you're supposed to do, very dark. The second thing, lighter. The third thing, lighter so you can barely see the writing. The fourth thing with the pencil, so light you can't even see it at all, right? And then that solidifies in the brain way more when you add energy to the writing, that this one has to be done. This one can be done, right? But this is the energy you want to do it in, right? This is so much smoother. This is so much better. This is Mozart, right? This is, I'm stealing now. This is how you want to get your day done. If you write everything hard and put energy into all of it, bam, 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 you're building up the shadow of it. That what if I can't do it, right? Anytime you're building up a shadow of something, it's going to snap back and you up, right? And, for a lot of years, I teach you guys how to go fast. But if you're already winning in life, if you got a paycheck and stuff, then I can't teach you to go faster, right? I can only teach you how to, hey, let's manage the sales, bro. That's better. Okay. Have you noticed all coming out of unconscious autonomous behavior, all of that depression behavior, I'm not going to do it today, I'm not going to shower, I'm not going to read, I'm not going to write, I'm not going to go to school, all that depression behavior, if you notice what alleviates depression, no one can actually articulate what the feeling of coming out of depression feels like, right? Shifting that state, and it's coming into this consciousness of a new perspective. That's why I say you don't have to believe the perspective that I prescribe you, but just seeing a different angle will help you get out of that confusion. Like, there's a lot of people confused in the spiritual game, the religious game, the theological game, and they're all and they're asking the right questions. They're asking the question of why. This question was great by him. It was why. This question I read asked, why do humans do rituals? Like, why does the church and the mosque, and why do humans have rites and rituals? And there's people like Nick who, don't get me wrong, I think he's a genius, but he sounds when he talks about rituals, because he's so materialistic in his perspective that he says, oh, we just do rituals to do them. It's just tradition. We just do them to do them. And it's like, what? They're that specific of the priest going around the thing and lighting the thing, and then they're so specific. What do you mean this is just tradition? Are they just playing make-believe? But once you hang around the esoteric circles and groups, you get the perspective of, most mythologies, whether demonic or not, were real, and humans were clairvoyant, where sleep wasn't that far from death. They were perceiving these realities. They were seeing this Mount Olympus, and they were seeing this, and they were communicating with these things. That's what schizophrenics are, is they're clairvoyant, right? That's what a schizophrenic is. Not that it's a good thing, right? It's the worst time in history to be that. But once you understand this perspective, you stop being confused of why the church and spiritual leaders have rituals and these kinds of practices. Now, when you stop being confused, you start to believe. Once you have faith, then your life goes great. But do you see how you cannot go there with Nick or Sneeko's perspective of, they just do rituals because it's tradition. It's so when they speak, when Nick, Sneeko, and when people like this speak about ritual, what they're really saying is, I only believe in the eyes wide shut rituals being evil, not ours being good. Ours is just tradition. And they try and loop in, they try and go into a million different paragraphs of, actually, this is the real based answer. But it's like, dude, deep down, you don't believe that there's anything in the air. You don't believe that there's anything in the air. You don't have a basis to believe this stuff, right? Because saying my book told me is never good enough for the human. believe it or not. They like to pretend. That's why most spiritual people pretend. But when you look into spirit science, when you look at the esoteric, when you look at history with the right lens, you go, wait a minute, so Zherka, those rituals they're doing to those priests right now, those rituals are 100% just going through the motions, but he knows that those motions are doing something in the invisible realm. He knows something's happening because he's read for thousands of years. This is what they did when they were clairvoyant, when they did see these spirits and stuff like that. When humans were more in between clairvoyance and their eye or their intelligence. And so, what am I trying to say with all this? I'm trying to say me changing your perspective on why rituals are done. The only time you've ever heard a streamer talk about this, not even Alex Jones, bro, because they don't read. They don't read this stuff. They're like in my group, but I'm doing all the hard work. I'm doing the whole project, and I'm doing it for fun, bro. Yeah, I'm interested. But yeah, me changing your perspective on this stuff increases your level of faith, because watching Nick and political people all day is not enough. It's not enough. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. I'm not saying fake like, oh, he's not actually a Christian. I'm saying they don't explain. For years I watched Sneakos and Nicks, and they don't explain to me what's happening during a ritual. They just say, that's tradition. That's tradition. And so I go through all these books, and you know what's the worst thing? At the end, they say, this is what, yeah, it's very shallow. It's exactly the word it is. They're shallow thinkers when it comes to the esoteric. And they always say this to me, Zherka, you're too into that stuff. It sounds like you're evil.
When is the documentary?
Not that they've said that to me, but I have a feeling that, like, if they saw the books I'm reading, they'd be like, I don't know about this, you know? I read literally everything, plus, you know, I read the Bible like 7 years ago, but I don't know about that book. And it's like, bro, you literally are reading goy slop all day, and you're telling me the books I read is, you're going too far, Zherka. You're looking like the crazy old man on the internet. And obviously I'm addressing something that, like, we talked about maybe 5 months ago. So it's like, it's kind of late, but I just want to put it out there of what pulls a man out of depression, because they always talk about grief and depression, and Sneeko, Nick, Andrew Tate, everyone has like they talk around it without the cure. And the cure is changing perspective, right? Just like when you find out how to kick a ball in a net, you go, oh, that's the part of the foot I should hit it with. That change of perspective gets you out of the gloomy feeling that you're a bad football player, right? Why I link it to spirituality is because I think there's nothing more important than strengthening your faith every day, okay? And I don't think politics all day with Nick and Sneeko, as much as I support these guys, I want you guys to follow these guys, it's too much, bro. I feel like all of Twitter has become politics. You know how happy I was when Nick linked up with Aiden? I said, finally I get to laugh. This is how you convert people, through laughter. I don't think, no one got converted into the right, to join the right, without laughing into it first. That's 100% the most effective way. That's why Trump is so effective. And I feel like, when people attack me for, you're pushing Sneeko too much into like comedy and stuff, and he will be more censored, and no, he won't. And number two, good. I'm tired of Sneeko talking about the Jews all day. I want him to be funnier, to bring more people to Nick and me. That's what I want from Myron, to bring people to me. Nick, to bring people to me. And I bring to them. And that's how we move up. Okay? So yeah, deep down, I'm sure you could have Nick and Myron on right now, and they'd say, yeah, Sneeko's move to kick is very intelligent. You idiots who just want him to talk about the Jews all day, do you even watch it? You know what I mean? And I feel like now I got to talk more about that stuff, because Sneeko's should be collabing and stuff, but no, that's not how it works. Anyways, that's my spiel. That's my rant. Basically, what I'm trying to say is your feed every day, because why you guys are and moaning, go live, Zherka, go live, is because your life sucks. You're depressed. Even the Chads are depressed. And that's why it's now my duty to get you out of it. You. There's people on my website for that shit. No, but seriously, guys, you. I don't even give up that I didn't go live these few days. Do you know why? I'm better than you. Okay? I read to keep my faith strong. You read politics to stay depressed like a and then say, Zherka, go live, fix me. You want me to fix you? How about how about I fly out one fan right here, sit him next to me, grab his phone, change his little hairstyle, sit up straight, teach him to be a courageous man. As soon as he starts sounding like me, I'll say, give me your phone, and I start deleting and unfollowing everything. Your feed is going to psyop you first. So if your feed is all politics, you're going to always be, if I can fix your feed, you will never say, Zherka, go live. You'll say, Zherka, go live. You won't say it like a, Zherka, go live. Zherka, you're so funny. Zherka, you're so, I don't want to go live. I'll go live when I go live. Okay? Capiche? I'll go live when I go live. I've never seen a streamer get more, Zherka, what about today? What about today? It's been a year of ditching you. I've ditched you because I'm better than you. I'm sorry. All right, listen, bro. Whew. Got a little carried away there. I didn't mean to say Nick. I'm sorry. Zherka, go live. Go watch FouseyTube, you Oh, FouseyTube. Why did we ever like that guy? Dude is so lame. He's such a Alright. What was I saying? Right. Strengthen your faith, man. If you stop, how are you always depressed? If you say Zherka, go live without the caps lock, I go, real man. If you say it like, Zherka, go live, it's like, bro, you watch politics all day. You're literally right-wing Hassan Piker chat. You're Hassan's chat, but on the right. And it's like, dude, we gotta touch grass. Okay, you gotta literally go in the field, touch Auschwitz, grab the soil, and plant a new idea every day. What are you gonna do besides moan and complain? What are you gonna do? 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 So yeah, I will go live when I'm not asked like a. I feel like a prostitute. You know, when you caps lock me. I don't like that shit. I feel like Demi when you do that. Alright. There's your rant on depression. By the way, I'm so tired of this. Like, Zherka, yo, I love this mystical shit you say on depression. Can you please talk more about depression? Why more? Was my last talk not good enough? You're saying you want more because what you're saying is depression is my cake and I want to be fed more. I want to be fed more of that depression cake. It's like, what? There's two wolves on your shoulder and you're feeding both. You're feeding both. You're feeding you're feeding one. You're feeding one wolf, bro. That wolf, I don't know where I was going with that, but you know what I mean. Okay, let me try this. Oh, this chat, bro. Rumble for 2 years has not fixed their chat issue, bro. Like, people don't realize that people are like, yo, you really want to be unbanned from Kick? I don't give a for having 70,000 followers on that one. I barely even streamed on Kick. I only care about a fast-moving chat, bro. You guys are always on this low energy shit on Rumble, bro. Because they don't want to fix their shit. Because they don't give a fuck about their website.
Jesus is king.
Zherka, do you really think you're better than others? I have the same mindset when I'm in public. That's the right mindset to have, Brody. I'm telling you, I do think I'm better than other people because, like, let's be real, dude. This is how you measure someone's life, okay? Social circle, status, women, and money. That's the only way. I like to say, oh, family, if they're married and they have a family. Like, I like to say that, but that's not what the collective unconscious really cares about. Like, people say that to look cool, but if that were true, we would be clicking follow on dads at Walmart. Nobody gives a about a dad. Now, if you're a Chad, if you're a good looking DILF, that's awesome. But if you're just some random, like, regular Joe, dad, no one gives a you. And if you're a dad, you should have a channel. You should have a YouTube channel. Andrew Scholl's wife. It kills me, bro. It actually kills me because I'm not trying to be an Andrew Schulz hater, but the guy is tall, good looking, comedian, millionaire, right? So these are like crazy stats. I'm not saying these stats are like what I don't think he's that good looking, but I know the collective likes this. I've seen these guys do very good in life, right? I don't know what you call his archetype. What do you call it? Just like the funny white guy of the group that got further ahead because of Charlemagne the God. No! I'm not hating, but I'm just saying she hit the lottery. He hit the lottery so hard. And he's making fun of people who get prenuptials. he's making fun of people who get prenups. So that means she's got half of 50 mil. What's this guy's net worth? He's on Netflix. He's huge. He's me if I didn't make jokes. I would have been that big, right? I would have been on Netflix, and I'm funnier than this guy. But I have to say it. You know, I have to be racist. Like, I want to die a man. I don't want to die. All right. Now we have his ex.
Ivanka did a great job. She didn't want anything. All she wanted to do was get people jobs. I would have made her the ambassador to the UN. I wanted to do that. I think she would have been incredible, the whole aura. She would have been great, but she didn't want that. She didn't, and that would have been a very glamorous position.
Yeah.
She would have been great there. All she did is go to see companies and hire people. She wanted, and she hired, I think it was like 10 million people, some incredible amount of people. She'd go to...
You know why he does this so much? When I was first building my channel, I would do this when I'm talking. You know what this means when you're talking with your hands, chat? It's a gift. He's giving you, your attention focuses more on what he's saying because he has a gift for you. This means no weapon. I come unarmed. Here is my gift to you. Totally intelligent guy. Like, compared to Kamala, she's so hard to listen to.
Walmart, she'd go to Exxon, she'd go to these
Total
big companies.
Genius guy. This guy's a total air genius.
And see if she could get groups of people hired.
Yeah.
And she loved doing it. It was great. And there was no glamour, there was no anything, but she got people jobs. That made her
So
happy.
how do you instill the ambition in the kids? I think a lot of kids that grow up with wealth, they kind of are lazy and they feel like they have no direction in life. And a lot of times,
If you grew up wealthy, not like regular wealthy, I'm talking like everyone in your school knew you were loaded out that just rich, right? Like multiple supercars and if you grew up like that, you're a total like everyone in school made fun of you.
how do you instill the ambition?
I'm not angry at them. It's just they always come at me with like, yo, how do I find out my life meaning, bro? How do I find my life fire? And it's like, there is no influencer who should answer that. They should themselves before they answer that. If you ever ask another human being, what's my life purpose, bro? Zherka, can you tell me what's the meaning of my life? You should, and no one on earth should be allowed to answer that question, because anyone who asks that question is not moving and not active, meaning he shouldn't be asking it. That question's only for the active, because then your brain is flowing and you can actually get to the bottom of the meaning of your life. You can actually get to the bottom of what you're trying to do in life because your brain is active. It went to work, it went to the gym, it made money, it did this. But that question being asked from a lazy sitting in his... You could be a skinny fat. By fat, I mean you're not moving, right? You get it? That question's only for the active, right? Because that's the only question that ever matters. That's the only question anyone ever talks about at the high circles or the high end. At all circles of life, except the loser circle. That
what is your prediction for the youth? Max Holloway versus Celia Topuria.
Yeah, Holloway's gonna die. That's my prediction. But we're not doing that right now, bro. We're doing Trump. Don't focus, man.
Well, you know, I've seen a lot of wealthy families where the kids are mostly
Bro, we're going back to coffee, man.
Work out too well. Some don't turn out to be bad kids, but they end up hating the father, or the father maybe wanted them in business. I mean, I have one father that's very competitive with his son. He's if this.
We'll see all this shit.
And it really is a sort of a microcosm of life. But with life, it takes a lot longer to find out the end result.
Come to fruition.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we said you're a great father up top. First thing you say is, I've got great kids. You didn't take credit. And then your entire answer, and I thought this was really cool, your entire answer is about how great your kids are. That was a very cool thing.
Thank you. That's very nice. I think I like this interview. I think
That's genuine.
I think it's right. And by the way, congratulations. I hear your show is like is crazy monster success.
We're doing pretty good. We're very we're interviewing your president.
It's really good. And right in the middle of a campaign with only 29 days to go.
Yeah.
And you're taking up time.
Just to talk about your family.
Yeah, we're just complimenting
you. You know what it is? It's a different world out there. You guys and some others.
Yeah.
You know, we had the standard television stuff for many years, and that's still. I think it's underrated now. I think it's still very important. But, but there's a whole new thing. Elon interviewed me on something.
Yeah.
And I think they said 275 million hits or listeners.
That's a lot of people.
That was a
That's a nation. Yeah.
But it's a whole new, different way of getting the word out, right?
About Elon specifically, is he your favorite African American?
He's a piece of work, I'll tell you. You know, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's obviously a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw the rocket engines come back, I said, what is that? Like a couple of years ago, you never seen rockets go up and then they crash into the water. And I see the engines are coming back, and they're landing.
It's unbelievable.
They're landing, and they land on a raft in the middle of the ocean someplace with a little dot, and they land right on the top of the spot.
And my wife can't parallel park.
I know, most people can't. But no, he's great. But he's got a great...
Yeah, we have seen this, bro. We have. I can't do this, bro. I can't do this streaming
incredible
shit,
doctors.
bro.
Some of those country doctors are better than the big doctors that we spend a lot of money on, and they don't do as good. I will tell you right now. I don't want to knock anybody, but those country doctors saved 2 people, because I was told that 3 would... No, think of that. 3 would be in trouble, and 3 were going to... Now, Corey immediately, but the other 2 were so bad that they thought they wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
And those country doctors, they pulled them together. So they did a great job.
Okay, so you're going back into this place where, there was this assassination attempt. They hit you. Headshot. You survive.
Yeah. It was not a good feeling.
Yeah. Are you scared?
By the way.
No, I'm not scared. You know, I have an attitude. It's interesting.
Limited $5. Why are you acting like you haven't watched this when you saw it last stream? No content, Zherka.
I didn't watch this, bro. We watched 10 minutes.
It is what it is. Does that make any sense to you guys? You know, you do what you have to do. I felt it was important to go back. A lot of people, I guess, agree.
I'm just glad his ear grew back.
Because it was over 100, I think they said 108,000 people in the end.
Yeah, I'm reading chat, bro. Ask your question, bro. Ask it.
Super Bowl.
What did I miss?
And I had no guitar. You know, if you have a guitar, it's easy. If you don't have a guitar.
You said Qatar.
Yeah.
I have guitar. I do have that. They like me very much. But I don't have a guitar.
Yeah, you have the guitar. Yeah.
So anyway, but that was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, I like it when somebody like Elon, who has a lot to lose, is willing to do what's right.
Yeah.
Some people know it's right to do, and I'm not just talking about endorsements and all, but they don't want to do things because they're.
They want it to cost them opportunities.
The words is they want to be politically correct, and actually they're doing a bad thing. I think for themselves and for a lot of people they may represent.
Okay, opening line when you walk out there.
So, right.
I mean,
I was wondering what you were going to say, and as a comedian, you can seize the moment.
Yeah.
And
I think he was a hell of a comedian, by the way.
I appreciate
That's
that.
what the word is.
So I hear you go, I see the video and you go up there and you go, as I was saying.
Right.
Crowd goes berserk or what?
They went, I would say, crazy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
Biggest pop
sure.
you've experienced?
Yeah, I'll tell you how, you have this as a comedian, or even as not as a comedian, just when you make a speech or you make some very serious statement.
Yeah.
So we're at a very serious and somber thing
Event,
because
yeah.
we're celebrating a life that is no longer with us. And I wasn't sure whether or not that thing, I had it in my mind for a long time. Once I said I'm going back, which I wanted to go back immediately, I wanted to actually finish my speech, okay? When I got up, I said, let me finish my speech. But I'm surrounded by like 8 very large, strong men and a very wonderful woman. You saw that.
Yeah.
But I'm surrounded by guys. They said, sir, no way. No. And I have blood pouring down, but I really wanted to finish my speech. I said, I think I had like 50,000. I had a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And, when I went down, it was sort of like embarrassed. I said, I went down in front of all these people. That was my first thing. I said, I don't want to be embarrassed.
You went down after being shot?
Of course. Well, you weren't exactly sure what the hell was happening at first,
Yeah.
But also, you came back up with a fist raise. That's one of the hardest pictures.
But I was also,
Did you hear them say he's down, or were you just like?
So when I got hit, I assume that it's funny.
Is it?
When I was down there, it is sort of strange. I guess now it's a little bit. We can smile a little bit, but not really, because the 3 guys, 1 killed,
Of course.
2 very badly.
Yeah.
But when I went down, I had total realization. It wasn't a surreal. They talked about a surreal. That could be a surreal experience, like when something happens, some traumatic thing happens. People they lose focus. They have no idea where they are.
Thoughts on long distance relationships? Yeah. This is your woman. You don't know where she is. You don't know what she's doing. But we do.
Jewish Lightning donated $5. What is the power of planting seeds under the new moon? What is the soul of the law?
I'm not answering that. What the
And anything else.
Oh, wow.
Now, it's good to be this way, not that way. That way, that's bad. So if I don't turn, I would be doing this right now, guaranteed.
Guys, I got some stand-up shows coming up.
this
Back to the show.
My son Don told me, actually, he's a great shooter. So is Eric. They're great shooters. They're like better than scratch. Okay, if you use
Yeah.
And they say it's amazing because it was 130 yards. To me, that sounds like far away, but it's not. For shooting, it's not. He said that would be like sinking a 1-foot putt for just a decent shooter.
Wow.
And I don't know if you guys are shooters, but they said if you're a shooter, it's almost impossible to miss. It's that close. It's really considered that close. I mean, 300, 400, 500 yards is very doable, but this is supposed to be very close. And so he said, I think Don became more religious. Actually, you want to know the truth. It had a big impact. He said, it's impossible. The doctor, actually, when I got to the hospital, they were fantastic, Butler Hospital. I get there, and the doctor greeted me, and he looked at me and looked.
He's kind of getting ahead of himself when he speaks about this, which is like So guys, isn't it strange when people who aren't 7 don't have friends? Dude, nobody has friends anymore. The only people who have friends in today's post-COVID society is people who have cyclones of time wasting. And there's like a group they have that's a cyclone that just wastes their time, and they go there to do drugs and alcohol and whatever, and then they spin out of it and come back to normal, get a girlfriend, then go back into it when they break up, and they have these cyclones, but they don't actually have friends. Like, I don't think people have had friends since... Hell, even before COVID, it was pretty bad. Bro, a friend is like a huge title to put on someone. I don't think people actually have friends. People have like trends, right? Certain friends for certain trends. There's summer friends, there's winter friends, there's, you know what I mean? And I think it's all gay. And unless they're coworkers, unless you make money with them, I don't think you should chill with them, because I'm not going to someone's like office job and distracting them so they make less. Let's say they're on commission. So why the would I stay around someone who makes what he like offers me a good time, a couple of beers, and that's bro. And are we going to the next level or not? Let's talk business, bro.
I think Iran would be the one.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second, because we got to shout out the great law firm in America, Morgan.
2 questions. When will you upload new content on DateIQ? And why no podcast episodes with Sneeko anymore?
I upload this week, maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow. We're just editing. And I'll hype it up. I'll remind you guys, don't worry. And why don't I do podcasts with Sneeko? The last time he tried to get one done, I was on a plane. And the next time we're doing one is today. Because I said, yeah, I ditched a lot. My bad for that. And but I'll never say my bad to Sneeko, because he's ditched too. Like we do, you know, as long as we're on the, you know, I ditch sometimes, he ditches sometimes, that's fine. But I'm never consistent when I'm like not catching planes and shit. Like I got time now. So I think, yeah, today's should be one for sure.
Because we're talking about generals, and then you get back onto the general.
How do you react when you're alone with a woman and she constantly shit tests you off camera?
I ignore until she repeats herself. Ignore, she repeats herself. She feels dumb for repeating herself. She tries to repeat herself again, but stops halfway because she's like, he definitely hurt me. And I ignore, and I train them to be good dogs. Then I make them laugh when they're being good. But when they're being annoying, I ignore. Right? I ignore. I don't do the whole, actually, let's debate about this. I don't do what you guys do. If there's a camera, maybe, but if there's no content, I ignore. I go, like, she goes, oh, wow. He's not mad at me. He's just not amused. Am I not entertaining? No, you're not. I am entertaining. What are some ways to make your body regenerate and de-age? You're trying to look healthier? Step 1, fast, right? Fasting always makes people look better, like oily people. And number 2, right? This is going to sound crazy. Reduce stress levels, even if it means lowering your paycheck. Like, for a lot of my guys, I'll be like, who cares if you make $10,000 less a year, but you look better? That's worth it, because when you look better, you sell more. Right? But a lot of you guys have like these niche side hustles that make you sleep weird, right? That's why I say, for a lot of you traders, it's not worth it if it makes you ugly and you're never rich. Like, you should be rich by now, right? If you're always stressing, then like, bro, you're just balding. Okay, can we finish this?
Conservative and some liberal.
There's some places. My wife and I had a baby through IVF, and you've been very supportive of IVF.
I was totally.
I really love that. You said that you guys were going to pay for it, and I would love to get the refund or whatever once that happens from the government.
But I actually said, we want babies in our country.
And we do.
Yeah.
But
so
there are some people using that reversal of Roe v. Wade to
Why is his eyes so big?
Attack the legality
look
of
at
IVF.
Look how he
and
opens
to
his
me,
face.
it's like, that's heartbreaking.
These are crooked politicians. These are politicians.
And have you noticed Trump is not on that amphetamine anymore, where he's like red and screaming anymore? He's like very calm now. He's not 2016, that's for sure. There's no veins. It's very like, what's the recipe? What's the sauce he's on?
Now, I'll give you an example. I came out, when it first came up, and it started in Alabama, where a judge ruled that you couldn't do IVF, and all clinics all over Alabama was going to shut down, were going to be shut down. And I wasn't an expert on IVF, but I have common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense.
Yeah.
And some women called me, and actually Katie Britt called me, the senator from Alabama, who's really a young, good politician, smart, great husband, who was a football player, great family. She called me up, she said, sir.
Yeah, Taz, that is real, yes. But it comes through breath work of circulating the light within yourself. It's not just holding it in, right? And that takes a while to learn, right? A lot of people are like, are you into meditation? Breath work is different than meditation, okay? And that's really good for, like, learning to center yourself is great for reducing stress too. That's a whole chapter, man. That's like 10 videos. We don't have time for that. We got to finish this, and then we've got something. I've got a big surprise for you guys. We have a guest on today. We have a woman on to the stream today.
Women have come to me, and almost
see, I give you guys gifts, and I'm not even back to streaming. Like, fuck you.
and they're my best friends. That the judge shut down IVF. He's a very, conservative judge, and he shut down IVF. And I said, let's explain it. Tell me.
Yeah, Adderall Trump was peak, but I feel like you can't do that over a year. You get uglier, you get weird, you get psychotic. I feel like, I'm totally against this stuff, but I see how people can have one good year and set up a business. And, I get that. But if he did it till now, he would have, it would have been pretty, it would have been hilarious. It would have
She
been
told me.
so
She said,
funny.
no, it's a great thing. It's helping women have babies.
Why do I ignore women I like and don't ignore women I don't like? Because the ones you like are trophies in your head. They're on such high pedestals that you will always self-sabotage. The second you start treating the ones on pedestals identical to Walmart moms, identical to everyone else texting you on your phone, the second you start believing it, the second it becomes the norm, is the second they sense it. And then they feel they're not that hot and they come back down to earth, and now you can shoot your shot. And yeah, it really is about, it's not, you don't even have to say anything, but they can pick up that you're treating them different, right? Even if you ignore the shit out of them, let's say you're in a room with one, she senses she's better than you because you're avoiding the trouble, right? This is why I say the number one thing you have to do is a good first impression, and then just like the basics, man. It's just the basics. You hold frame. Don't do anything she wants to do. Do what you want to do, and she'll just fall into it every single time, especially if your life is interesting. You don't need that much money and stuff like that. You should have money, but your life has to be interesting. And if you ever wonder, like, how do I make an interesting life? You don't have to make an interesting life. Make conversations interesting. If you can find a way to be an interesting person, interesting to talk to, everyone wants to talk to you, and you'll usually know that if haters want to really talk to you, right? If haters also, plus people who like you, if they all want to yap with you, then you're an interesting person. And that's how a lot of average guys have good, a good circle of bitches that they go through, or a time they're dating, is they've got interesting conversations with a regular high-paying job, good lifestyle, regular lifestyle with some money. That's it. That's all you need. Because interest, when you are interesting, you have attention. Attention is everything, right? Attention is everything. Once you have someone's attention, it's game over, right? Now, being interesting is tricky because that means you have to unravel your soul, right? You have to unfold your soul. Okay, so that's like a longer process, right? Yeah, I should sell more courses for sure. I've come out and said multiple times that Fuzi's good with women and stuff like that, and I was talking last year. This year, I feel like he's doing some other shit, and I'm being super fair when I say that. I could easily shit on it. Sneeko, I think he's doing great, but let's be real, everyone we used to react to was better last year, These guys were better when the energy was more, what is Zherka doing because he's all over the algorithm? When people are copying me, it was way better because then I copy myself, I stay on my shit. Even right now, I don't feel it, bro. I swear to God, there's this, anyone else feel like in last year in 2023, you could sit through a whole date? And this year, bro, maybe it's a dragon year. I don't know what it is. I can't stand when they start talking. I used to be able to sit through half a date. I can't stand, bro. I'm going to weird lengths where I'm bringing friends along, right? Usually that's beginner stuff that I teach. I'm not a beginner, but I'm bringing friends along just in case I get bored now, right? The only time I ever have fun, genuine fun with women, the most fun I could imagine having is me. It's me and Sneeko and three of them. That's the most. That sounds so dumb. You know what I'm saying though, right? Where two ADHD people talking about what they want to talk about, and that's it. Listen, read this, bro. Zherka, this is your average Christian. Zherka, where should we draw the line from gaining knowledge to going against God? How shrooms are evil, but reading isn't. Reading is evil? The Bible says be wise as serpents. Read, bro. What the f*** is this? Yo! What the is going on? He got black! What the is going on? Dude! Stop it. This is better. Open. Here's the non-propaganda. Listen, bro, I'm just gonna say it. I don't want to sound like a Ryder. I know he doesn't like our part of the internet that much. He's coming around, though. I've seen clips where he was like 10% based. He's better than her. That's a feat in itself. Yo, what the why is okay, that's a way better picture. My bad. That she looks totally great there. Charlie. So what does she do? Like all the good women are. I'm gonna say it. This guy in chat said not bad. He's a millionaire, rock star, famous dude. Come on, dude. He's not the worst guy in the world. So you guys just shit on the boys too much, I think. You guys are like instinctively. I'm not shitting on her, but yes, I am. Maybe I just have weird taste. Look, man. Here's the truth. I love that it's a white family. I love that. I've always loved seeing that. That's a great thing to see. You know, I don't know why I'm nitpicking so much. I know why I'm nitpicking so much because whether I go to this US or any other country on earth, I walk into Walmart and I see I'm gonna just say it, Charlie Kirk is a Chad. Right? I don't give a what you guys say. Right? Millionaire, status, tall. Yeah, that's a Chad. I don't give a bro, your bar is too high. That's a Chad. He's social. His DMs are full. He's a Chad. You know, not that kind of Chad you guys like. You guys like Wolverine. But Google what Hugh Jackman's been up to. I'll show you Chad. Yeah, he's a total Chad.
Bobby donated $5. Why hello there Carl Zherka Young, what a great smile you have today, you cut tire patootie. My question is, what is your favorite breakfast meal? Mine is an esoteric sandwich.
Breakfast. The meal of listen, if you wake up early in life, if you go to gym early and you eat breakfast and you're like, you've seen all the early commercials, McDonald's commercials, the morning, all that shit, you're a idiot, okay? This last year, first time I started waking up early, and I don't even like it like this. I don't know why it's like this. All I know is I'm sleeping really well. That's all I care about, and I've never monitored my sleep before, just this year, you know, and it's the best year financially. It's like I'm crushing it. Sleep is important. Sleep is everything. Sleep is more important than hard work, okay? Because if you're working hard and you're not getting the adequate recovery in the astral realm, you're going to have haunting dreams and projections and 2D images that terrify you without you knowing what they are. You just forget the dream and you're just going to be anxious all day. Okay, this photo, that's not bad at all for like back then, because have you noticed that and this is like an intro, I'm not going to pretend I know why. I see a lot of these YouTubers in the intellectual space pretend they know why, but women have gotten a lot more attractive as men have become a lot more simpier. Women, as they got money and more energy and attention put onto them, they've never been more attractive in the history of ever than this year. And no one understands why. And it's because, I don't know why. I'm not going to pretend to be a genius, but here's my take on this. Have you noticed most women, even the good ones nowadays, are all pretending to be the anima? They all role play being the anima, the male soul. So they don't actually ever form a bond that they've seen in the movies. They form this, they play this character of themselves where, hey, look, my man finds me attractive. I'm playing the character of being attractive. I'm playing his fantasy. I'm playing this trad wife or whatever and she's playing this character that's not all her. Always. She never takes a break from it. She doesn't even know another way to live. Right? This is why if girls can make guys laugh, they're so big. Like, guys love those kind of chicks. Like, oh my God, she actually did something funny. She said something great. Oh my God, right? Because that's like out of that I'm the perfect woman anima role. And it's interesting because the red pill side won't admit it, but as we've gone more to the extremes where men are either super simp or in jail locked for being badass, men have gone really hardened and masculine, right? But the interesting thing is there's still a lot of attention on men, a lot of energy on men, but men have actually gotten uglier. That's the scary thing, is that men have gotten a lot uglier from this spirit of the times. Like, look, in the 1950s, I know that, like, our peak men, our taller men, are the Zherka types. Yeah, we dominate. We're way better than anyone in World War II. Those guys were 5'2". They're not attractive to God's eye. But yeah, when you look at the men, they haven't leveled up that much unless we're looking at the top of the pyramid. And then, yeah, they're pretty attractive, right? But the women have become a lot more. Either illusions have gone up, even their looks that are not illusions have gotten up. Or maybe that is illusion. Who knows, right? I'm not going to be like those bitter red pill guys who just won't admit it. Women have gotten a lot more attractive as they got a lot more lonely. And I'm not talking about women who are single. I'm talking about the lonely woman that's married, but she still feels alone, right? And that's, people don't realize that a man's biggest fear for marriage is, it's not actually him being cucked and her leaving him. His biggest fear is she stays the whole 50 years without even being attracted to him. That's a bigger fear. That's because it's like she's the constant reminder that your soul didn't unfold, right? Because it sounds crazy, but beyond being intellectual, beyond being all these other things, and these things go into what I'm about to say, but the one thing you have to become is from a metal to a magnet, and like, you have to be attractive. Nothing else makes sense for the man and the woman. This is why Kamala and Trump are obsessed with their looks. How did I look when I was talking about this? Did I sound crazy here? You have to be attractive to win. It's always been like this. You have to even throw the spear in an attractive way. If you attack someone and you say you're a, you have to say it with conviction, right? Everything you do must be attractive, right? But here's the weird thing is, the more attractive that the women's side has gotten, the more they've repelled men. And it's because there's an illusion with being an attractive person. For example, why are most average people do get on along with each other, but attractive people come with this center point of consciousness, their ego. It's refined, and the ego, you got to feed the ego experiences, or else it'll team up with the shadow and lash out and destroy your life, right? But now check this out. These people with these overdeveloped egos, they have more voices in their heads telling them, dump this bitch. And that's unacceptable. That is a curse. I don't know why people say ugly people are cursed. Excuse me, mid people, right? There's no such thing as ugly people. There's no such thing. Okay, it's just mid people and good looking people, right? God don't make no ugly. Those are people not trying, right? I can literally grab any guy off the street and make him mid within 3 months of gym, dressing up, and talking different. Like, it's so easy. But yeah, something strange has happened where as women leveled up their beauty, they became very alone, very hard to relate to. And that's usually for, like, I know no one gives women advice because they're going to do whatever they want. But if there was ever genuine advice to give them, it's A guy falls for you when he relates to you. So when a woman you're dating reminds you of your uncle, mom, cousin, brother, or dad for one split second is when you're bonding with her. I know it sounds crazy, but look into your past. It's real. The psychological takes I have are perfect, right? They're perfect. Those are the moments where she looks like a real object to you and a real object of your desire, because you see her up until 70 years old when you relate to her. The less you relate, the less you're going to be into actually bagging that bitch. And just don't realize this, right? Like some rippers get it. They know how to fake that. But most chicks don't realize this. They're always playing the anima. They're not playing themselves. And it's like the self is attractive, right? When people say from the bottom of their soul what they're thinking, the world sees them as ugly. But when they say it without giving a everyone loves them, especially women, right? And I do wonder what it is about, what is it with millionaire guys? And I hate how this is like a Twitter war between the feminists and my side. It's not a war. Everyone agrees millionaire men that are chads and tall always get the short end of the stick. Now, she could be a great woman and all that, but that's not the topic. We're not here for that. We're saying a millionaire deserves something hotter. So is it actually like every time we Google this, we saw that comedian, Andrew Schultz's wife, Charlie Kirk's. Look, this is just unfair. Yeah, this is seriously unfair. Look. This is unfair. He's a famous billionaire. Bro, he's got $50 million. Comedy pays. And this is just unfair to me. This is like, why is it always... what is this? On second thought... yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but every time I Google... Now check this out. First wife. No. First wife. There was a babe. He had a babe. What happened to her? What the oh, right, because... oh, it's a different age range. Did women actually look like this back then? That's a billionaire's chick? Okay. I don't know about a billion, though. See, I'm always curious about this shit, Like, because Trump's the kind of guy who talks about that stuff. He goes, a billion, a billion, I'm a billionaire, and that's what a billion buys you. That's the kind of box a billion buys you. That's a really good photo. Oh my God. That's not bad at all. This is the one. This is the one. It's too bad we're vampires and we got to switch loadouts, right? You're getting a little old. We got to switch you out. God, I hate that. That joke gets me in more trouble than anything I say. That's like the number one thing chicks ask about. They're like, you really like young? I go, no, I like this. I like this one on the screen. Bro, my dad's so badass, dude. I said, yo, as a son, I don't ask you for much. But honestly, for the first time in my life, I'm going to ask you something. I feel like you're fat. And my dad's like, bro, you're Zherka. You literally get fat every other season. Like, you have like a million different looks on Google. He looked at me like, what the fuck are you saying? And I'm like, I feel like you should, because I know you had that injury and stuff. I feel like you could lose 30 pounds. And bro, this guy, in a matter of 2 weeks of traveling with me, we're eating all this delicious food and stuff. I'm just picking out. And my mom, my brothers, everyone calls me and starts freaking out and yelling at me. They're like freaking out of how much weight he lost in like 2 weeks. Right? Because I was doing like hikes. I was doing a lot of crazy shit. And he'd tag along. And I'd be like, what do you can't keep up? And he'd be like, yes, I can. And everyone freaked out on me because he started looking like a big model, skinny, like that was wild, right? I forgot that he could be like that, and because he's like coming out of injury, so I get it. And I've never seen him like with a layer of fat. That's why I'm like, whoa, what the f-? And yeah, I got kind of angry. I don't know why I got angry at that. I was like, no, not at your age. Like, we're gonna be like Chinese people, bro. You know, you're gonna be healthy, and he's super healthy. It's great. Like, we're so blessed. But my family and my mom, who doesn't really like give a shit about stuff like that much, not that much, like not for him. She's like all mad at me. She's like, "What are you doing to him?" And my mom's like, "Why don't you lose it?" And I'm like, okay. And then I lost a bit too, but he lost a lot. And then I was like, wow, that's like really bad that I can. He didn't really get triggered. Didn't give a right. He just listened to me because he's like, oh, my son's a little worried. Because I have this theory that for older cats, if you let go for a few weeks, that could turn into like years of you being off your. Me, I'm up and down my weight. I can, do whatever I want. I can jump through anything. But if I was 70, I would not get out of shape even 5 pounds over. Like that age, you got to be on point, right? I feel like the only thing I ever talk to my family about is health. Everything else, I just like tune out, leave the group chat. I'm out of here. Don't want to chill with you. And yeah, just keep everyone on point. Yeah, I've been on point for a year, right? I've been pretty perfect blood pressure for a year. I haven't had this for a while. So now I get to talk to them like that. Like, you know what I mean? And where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, this guy, right? This guy at 70, he's going to be like a basket case of bad health. The aura is off. His etheric field is off. I think having a kid will mature you. Bro, I think having a kid makes men into... So I got one question. I remember... I forgot who I was talking to about this, but they said, imagine, Zherka, when you change a diaper. And I said to myself, I will never change a diaper. I did not make money and status to change diapers. Like, it's different when it's your own kid. And I'm like, that's how I know you're a bro. Like, imagine you bust your ass off. That kid's going to have a great life. You got money, you got masculinity, you're teaching him the right things, and he wants his diaper changed. I'm not trying to look badass or masculine, right? I'm saying I will puke if I do it. I will puke if I have to do, and not because it's like poop. I'm puking that I'm doing activities. Most guys wash dishes in front of their wife. She's literally watching you do a woman task for 2 hours, and you're thinking you're being productive. You're thinking you did something in her psyche that you taught her, hey, look, I'm very productive. The dishes are done. You don't always have to do them. I'm here. You're conditioning the brain the wrong way. No wonder she's going to... You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, if you change a diaper, you're like a... You think Donald Trump ever changed someone's diaper? That's activity, right? But my brother has a kid, and I tell him to his face, I'm like, bro, I literally spent $1,000 on Optimus Primes on my nephew, but I would never change his diaper, ever, never, bro. What the hell? Why? Is there anything we can draw a line in the sand about as a man, or do you just have to? You have to be a liberal male. You have to do what the TV says. You have to be at the birthing room. You have to take a topless photo with your kid. You have to do the dishes. You have to change a diaper at least once. Why do you have to? What, you think Genghis Khan did that? Imagine Genghis Khan takes all of Asia, right? He takes all of Asia and expands, and then changes one diaper because it's just one. He has to do just one. You'd be like, what the f*** is this? First of all, that's the most evil bitch on earth that she's got it to do that. And number two, it's like, is there any area in life a man can draw a line in the sand against? Or is it just like, hey, wait a minute, the TV said that you have to change diapers. Hollywood said that at least once. The ritual has to be done once. If the ritual has to be done once, you got to ask yourself, who the f*** made that ritual? For thousands of years that didn't exist. Why are people pretending they're conservatives because they're pro-family, they have a kid, and they change the diaper, and they're like, I'm a good dad. No, you're not. Your kid literally is like, my dad's a don't you have anywhere to be? What are you, a stay-at-home dad? You think Donald Trump ever did that? He'd be like, yeah, get this kid away from me. It's so weird that, Zherka, I understand what you're saying, but I don't. I never understand that part of what you're saying. Right? If you're making a shit ton of money every month and you're spending a shit ton of time with the kid, you're already better than all the dads and moms combined. And also spending a lot of time with your kid is gay. That's probably the you can do. Look at all these kids who had dads and their dads like played fetch with them all day and the kid turned out to be a communist like the rest of them. No, go be someone. So the kids go, I want to be like dad. I want to be like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is like, go be someone in life, bro. Changing diapers like a and people are like, but your cousins and your brothers and they're all gonna do it. They're all psyoped. They're all psyoped that they think one time is normal. No, man. And I gotta ask you, as a man, not even to your woman, to anyone on earth, have you ever drawn a line in the sand about anything that is just for you? It's not for anyone. It's not for Sneeko. It's not for Myron. It's not for your chat. It's just for you. That line that you don't cross in the sand is just for you. When you realize you've never ever made a boundary that's just for you, that your girl looks at you like, I've never heard of that because it's just for me. That's just for me. When you realize you've only drawn boundaries that Charlie Kirk or Trump told you to draw. You've never had one boundary that was yours. That's shit, dude. That's like, if you let that ritual happen once, it's over. If you've ever changed a diaper and you found it disgusting, gross, and never did it again, even if you did it once, I don't give a. Well, Zherka, they got me. I was blue pilled back then. It just proves you're doing something that you are disgusted by. The girls aren't even disgusted in doing it, by the way. Right? They never say that. It's only like autistic men, like certain types of men, right? Yeah, to me that's disgusting behavior. I'm still this. You got to remember, I'm a guy who's never taking a shit in public. I can't think of one time in my life. I've never taken a shit without showering and pressure washing my whole body. I've never in my life taken a shit without showering after. And you're telling me I'm gonna change it? A guy on my level of weirdness, and I'm not saying I don't smell like. I can be a sweaty, smell like shit. I can be a guy. I'm not like always clean shaven and smelling good. I'm not saying that, right? But I'm saying when it comes to shit, I'm never changing a diaper. And if I do, may God strike me down with lightning and me and her at the same time. And people hear this rant and think, well, now I can't imagine Zherka being nice to his kid. Yes, you can. You're psyoped into thinking those are mutually exclusive and those can't coexist actually. Yes, they can. You could be the best dad on earth and look him in the eye and say, I've never changed your diaper because I'm not and he'll be like, yeah, I got it, bro. And I think psychically something happens when he knows, he's at an age where he knows his dad wiped his ass. Something happens psychically where he feels unsafe, where the warrior is doing, you know? Now, if you wash some dishes here and there, it's not going to traumatize the kid. But if you wipe it, that's weird, bro. It's also this ritual of what else? Where else is there to draw a line? I don't have many lines. I don't really give a. I'm a chill guy, right? I'm a very nice, chill guy. I have one line. I'm not going to lie, though. There's something I don't like about. There's something I always feel horrible for is, like you get proud thinking, oh, wow, my nephew loves me. I'm like a good uncle. But you know how embarrassing it is that me, of all people, this is what he says about me. He says to his dad, I want to go play with, let's say, Uncle John, but he's not going to want to. That's what my nephew says about me. That's what he says to his dad, and it's true. Every time I'm around him, I say, yo, let me just take a 5-minute nap. Let me take a 10-minute nap. And he'll be like, you're always napping. I can't do, if a kid is hyperactive, I can't do more than an hour. I get so exhausted and irritated and, like they're always laughing, but that energy level, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I've never been like this. So yeah, that's the scary thing about kids is like if there's no woman just taking care of him for most of the day, I can't do it. Now, And that sounds like I don't want to be around him. No, we have a blast, right? I'm not on my phone for hours. I can chill with him and stuff. But I get this weird thing where it's like, yeah, deadbeat uncle. Like, I cannot do it, bro. Like, you know how weird it is to look your brother in that face and say, dude, can you take him? I'm just going to go for a nap. And my brother's like, bro, I do this like 12 hours a day. How can you not do 1 hour? But again, it's a hyperactive kid. If it's a normal kid, I'm sure I could do a couple hours. It feels selfish, though. I'm not going to lie. It's the worst feeling. But I don't feel guilty because my twin brother does the same thing. We both get fully exhausted. He takes naps, right? For me, it's a little different because I have more time. He has a job, right?
Smithy, tell people about yourself.
It's all my twin brother is a therapist. He sees how much money I make and he goes, you do all this without working? What do you do all day? And I go like this. I think. I'm truly blessed, man. Like, people are like, how do you believe in God? How do you not? How do you not? Unless I was Heel Mike, then I'd hate God. Zherka, how to not get black pilled. It's simple. Every day, find a piece of artwork that hits you, right? That's easy to do, right? Every single day, find a piece of grass or tall tree area to be at, even if it's an hour. That's 2. And every single day, force a social interaction in a spot that is yours, like at your coffee shop or your whatever. You force it. Eventually, doing these 3 things makes you realize how much you're missing in life. You go, I don't go hiking. I don't have a social life. I have friends, but I don't use them how you're supposed to. And you start realizing, oh my God, I'm not human. I'm a machine. I do machine shit. I eat, sleep, shower. That's it. The more you can be self-aware of the moment and realize you're a machine, the more you'll be horrified with your life. Because a lot of you guys are like, I am horrified. No, you're not. Horrified people act and move, right? And the goal of inspiration or listening to an inspirational speech, Aristotle said the goal of, I forgot, I'm butchering it, but Aristotle said the goal of inspiration is activity, something like that. Motion is action. He said the word action. Meaning if you're just always inspired all the time and you haven't moved, you're not actually inspired, right? Find the quote. Someone find the quote for me.
Alone. Did you say you live alone?
I couch surf with the homies.
Do you pay them at all, or you just like fully
I help
couch
out with
surf?
like other things and stuff like that whenever I can. I mean,
I was like, what are you doing with...
These people never want to become themselves. Have you noticed that? Like on my first day on the internet, I was like, my name is John Zherka. And people are like, oh, he's memeing, but I can tell he's becoming the meme. He's becoming himself. He was aspiring to more. He's not just a security janitor. He's not just in a club, right? He's not just a janitor broke guy. He was aspiring to more. There's something there. He's begging for it. He's like, God, hit me with some viral, bro. And God just shoots lightning and changed my life.
your free time?
This life never gets changed.
Either I know.
I hate successful people who gradually became successful. If it's not like overnight, then there's no divine intervention in your life at all.
Luke191006 donated $5. What would you do differently if you could go back in time?
Definitely less drugs, less alcohol. Less alcohol in certain events. Less experiments with my body. Less, like I always had a healthy body. I don't know why I had to bust it up where I can get dislocated and shit. And that's all from the I've done. All the hormones, everything that I experimented with at 23 comes to bite me in the ass later. Where later I'm like, yo, win or lose, I want to be out there in the world doing whatever the fuck I want. And God's like, you actually can't do what you want because you've damaged your body to a point where I'm not even going to let you be reckless. You're going to be limited. I've never been those guys who are limited like that, right? So I would have done less of that. And I would have been, and one thing I regret not having a YouTube channel sooner. I don't know why I waited. I waited to being discovered. I had to be discovered. You know how sad that is? Like people are like, that's awesome, dude. I had to work hard on my YouTube channel, but you got discovered. No, it's not. When you get discovered, you don't know what the you're doing for the first 2 years of streaming, right? And one thing I regret is going from broke to money makes you very up. You know, as cool as it is, it makes you up. Where, yeah, you have more fast money projects in your head, which actually damage your growth with your community. And another thing I regret, building up everyone's channels. Like, I could have had like easy, instead of 500,000 spread followers on each platform, I could have had it all on one platform. Another thing I regret, really, this is the first time I'm free to put a GoPro on my head and go nuts. Like, bro, I was thinking to myself, like, what a waste that we didn't just put a GoPro on my head and take me to colleges. Right? I still remember, I'm like, why am I chilling? I've chilled with Jack for a week. Why am I doing this? And Jack gave me the greatest idea that I knew was in me, but I kept forgetting it. People are reminding me all the time. Jack and I went to some college, right? And it clicked.
Bobby Solana donated $5.
That was a long time ago, right?
Fix your posture.
Yeah, you're right. But yo, it clicked in me that I should be in colleges, you know, with a GoPro on my head. Dude, that's like 10 million followers really quick, right? And I don't have to get banned with certain topics. I could just, you know? So that's the one thing I want to do. Other than that, I've pretty much set up my life to being perfect, you know? I don't regret much. One thing that I do regret is it is scary making money behind a paywall so you don't have to stream anymore, because when you have to do something, you actually can do it right. And this stream that I'm doing right now, bro, I'm telling you, this is tough for me. And you imagine a guy like me who likes to hear himself talk, right? I like to yap. I don't like yapping right now. Like, I'm trying to get into it, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, I forgot which mystic said you can't have one blessing without an equal amount of curse in it, which I don't believe that, but certainly I think if you make, let's say, if you do good in life, there's always something that's like limits the good.
Darlaza Chink donated $5. What is your game for waking up at the girl's apartment the day after to not get neutered by her?
I've never taught that. I've never taught about. The first thing I said on the internet that made me popular in the dating sphere was I said I'm the only guy who doesn't sleep over, and all the dating red pill coaches were like, what does Zherka mean by this? And now they're all saying what I said.
You regret doing hard drugs and alcohol, but do you think you would be in this position if you hadn't done that?
Yeah, you don't know when you've crossed the line until you've crossed it. So you kind of have to, if you're like expanding your awareness, consciousness on Earth, you have to fuck up. But when I'm talking about regretting this stuff, I'm saying not the first time. I regret the multiple mistakes, right? There should not have been drinking nights as a bouncer for a year. I could, for, what was it, 5 years of bouncing, everyone was telling me you could be the biggest YouTuber, you're the funniest guy on Earth. And I was like, nah, they'd probably ban me. I would say shit like that, and I'd be like, they'll probably lock me up because I didn't know about banning and stuff. And they'd be like, no. Even when you're just being like, when you're just being soft, you're funny. So, bro, I was cocky as a bouncer. I was like, I knew I would do it. So I feel like I did everything super late, and yeah, the first time that I can genuinely, in my heart, say, if you watch my old streams, if you watch my Twitch streams, it's always me talking about how I'm not right there yet. I'm not right here yet. Work harder. Destiny and I would argue. I'd be like 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day, every single day. Grind. And no friends, just grind. And Destiny would be like, dude, you got to have a more of a normal life too, Zherka. And that's what we debate about for like 10 hours a day. And legit, every year I've been on the internet, you could see on my stream saying, I'm not there yet. This is the first year in my life where everything I'm there. I'm there for everything. Now I can just go put a GoPro on my head and get 10 million followers on YouTube. I can finally do that, right? Because I said, I don't want to do it until I'm good from being banned off everything, that I still have a stable, good life. I don't want to do it until I'm stable here and blah, 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 blah. I literally have all doors open, and this is the first time I'm like, relax. It's not time to relax. But definitely I'm a little tired from Europe. Like, I do want to have some podcast nights, some normal because, bro, it's winter. I want to relax just a bit for these next few weeks before we. Yeah, because remember what I said? I said after the wedding, we can go nuts. And now we can go nuts. But it's not the time yet. And it's always got to be, it's got to be like the last time. Bro, the last time I went nuts, I went rich. It was a Faustian deal, though, if you think about it. It was against me. Yeah, it was against me, right? Because anyone else could have done it better. But then again, do I regret it? If I had to stream like the Yassine days when, I don't know why, I don't even think it was true when Yassine would tell me, I don't think I had to stream. I think I could have ran the website correct. All I had to do was show up, right? But yeah, that's like a tough one. How would you answer this if you're me? How would you answer that? Like, if you hadn't done all that, would you be here? That's tough, right? I think the thing that always I wasn't manic. I was literally on drugs and alcohol, which a lot of people are like, what do you mean? Weren't you always on drugs? No, bro. 4 months of Adderall is different from like drinking Percocet. And I still remember all the Bradley Martin and podcasts and shit where I would say, I've never had these perks and stuff that rappers talk about. And so I remember trying them for the first time. I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm famous. I'm rich. What could go wrong? I've never had an addictive behavior off anything. I could quit anything. I could stop anything. How bad could it be? And it's not like I got addicted. There's another side effect. You go crazy. And then thank God, like, the Lord always blessed me. Always got me out of it. Like, if you think about that, when I got accused by the whole internet of being a pedo, that same week, 10 giant influencers got caught being actual pedos, which made people compare. And I'm like, I remember praying, I'm like, God, why would you do that? Why don't you let me learn my lesson? Right? And then all I heard, I hear voice, bro. I hear voice. No, I don't hear voices, but I get this sense of, like, I know it's intuitive. I know what God's saying to me. And he's pretty much saying, you don't need to learn your lesson, Zherka. All you need to do is get away from Heel Mike. Because if I'm talking to you through Sneeko and all these people and your friends and family and everyone's saying, look, they're being nice about it. They're like, he's a cool guy, but you guys are bad together. Bad stuff happens to you guys. As soon as I got away from him, bro, well, that's not true. Our Lord and Savior fixed it. He fixed it before I learned my lesson because I was still hanging with Mike. Imagine that. And I remember telling people, no, I learned my lesson. I'm just hanging. Well, that's what you were doing, hanging. And you can tell something's off I'm always behave like myself, but you could tell something's off if you see me drinking. If you ever see me drinking, something's off because I don't drink. I'm not a drinker.
In Paris, right? Donated $5.
So,
hey Zherka, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Big Lenny from the Del Rey Misfits passed away recently. He was said to have had the worst case of HGH gut for a bodybuilder. He used to call himself the Tom Platz of abs.
Lenny? What? I don't know what you're talking about, but check this out. If you see me grabbing some barefoot nasty wine and downing it, and you can tell I'm not a drinker, I'm like, ugh, or I'm not like these guys. Why do I need that much liquor just to hang out with Mike? Where I'd be like, nah, guys, Mike's funny. It's like, okay, if Mike's funny, why do you need that much liquor? You never drink with Sneeko. You never drink around Sneeko. You never do anything with these guys. Why just with Mike? Right? I'd walk in, I'd see Mike go, hey, and I'd be like, oh, I need a drink, bro. I can't be. It's just too. But I don't know what you call Mike's energy. It's just, even when he's positive, it's just, I used to even think he's very funny until I realized it's just me bouncing off the joke. Like, I'm bouncing the joke. It's me being funny. Like, I'm laughing at what I said. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Yeah, this is the first time I took numerology kind of serious where I was like, Mike's a 3 and a 5 and a dog. And That must be the only reason I'm chilling with him, because, yeah. So I made a vow to never reach out if someone's dad or family member died, because that is the only reason when people are like, why'd you cut him so much slack? It's because of how I met him. Usually the first impression, how you meet someone, you roll with that. But yeah, if I met him in under any other circumstance, I would have been like, what the is this? But I'd always cut him slack because I remember how I met him. I didn't even realize I was that unconscious about it.